All right, and we are back with this is going to be episode 3 of the podcast, but the second time that I'm having my good friend here. I will let him introduce himself.
Hello, my name is Escape Sequence. That's just a pen name, obviously. I've been friends with Chris for a long time. I was on this podcast, I think, a couple months ago. We talked about the Great Resignation. Yeah, I'm a web novelist, soon to be light novelist, and I have a lot of thoughts about the internet. So here I am.
Fantastic. And I'm Christopher Julian. I make music. I also have thoughts about the internet, and I'd like to share them today. So I guess what's the theme of this episode? The theme is loosely like rehashes and like remakes, right? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay. God damn it.
You okay there?
Yeah, this is what just happened.
Okay.
So I was like, can you hear me? And then I guess you could. And then I laughed and I inhaled like a piece of this fry.
Okay.
That was nice.
Make sure you have a drink or something there, man.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll survive, which is more than I'd say for whoever's going to be going on this trip. I think they're going to be in big trouble because I don't think I could squeeze into this room. I mean, yeah, so today's episode rehashes, and we're just going to start with Star Wars. I mean, let's just get right into it. This is an issue that's been beaten to death, but apparently it hasn't been beaten to death enough because Disney's still running with it, you know? And I think they just still want more punishment. So here we are.
Well, they paid big bucks for this horse, and they're going to ride it long past the point that it's dead. They spent a lot of money on that franchise, and I can kind of see them trying to recoup some of their losses here, but don't know.
I think they're going deeper, though. Really? I think they're going deeper because they're in debt, man. They took out a bunch of debt to build this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they're going to make a profit, but what if they don't make a profit? You know? Anyway, okay. I'm going to make my case for why I'm so concerned. Because, you know, maybe 10 years ago, if you said that there's going to be some Disney, well, forget Disney, Star Wars hotel, and people would be like, oh, I'm interested. You know, I remember Attack of the Clones or whatever, you know.
People were into that. Yeah. They could have done that back then. I think.
I mean, I don't think they could have done it like this, but I think that they could have done it.
The concept.
Yeah. They could have if they did a good job. But it's a few years later, and yeah, I think we've got some real concerns. I mean, first of all, what's the price tag? This is about $6,000, and you're going to be in this room.
So is that $6,000 per night?
No.
Or is that just for the whole weekend?
No.
I mean,
you're going to be happy to learn that it's only about $3,000 per night.
Oh, well, that's
the deal.
That's reasonable. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a deal. I mean, $3,000. Who doesn't have that, right? And then so here's your room. And you might think that this is like a piece of the room or like a part of the room, but no, this is pretty much the whole room. You're viewing it from your child, and it better be a small child because this doesn't look like a big little cabinet that this camera's in. This is one of your child's bunk beds.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it here, and you can also see. Yeah, this is where the room ends, and that's the bathroom here.
I mean, this is about the size of like a junior level cabin on a cruise ship back when people went on cruise ships.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly. And that's what they're saying, actually.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, well, this is a cruise, you know?
Is it a boat?
No. And that's actually usually what people counter with. You know, they're like, well, this isn't really a cruise, though, is it? I'm like, well, it
Right.
is. I'm like, well,
Can they even legally advertise it as a? Oh, okay. Well, excuse me. It's not a cruise. It's a star cruise.
well,
So of course
yeah.
it's more valuable.
Well, it's a cruise experience.
Right.
So whatever
With
that means.
with lightsaber training.
Exactly. So we'll get to that. So that's your room that you're paying $3,000 a night for. Um, you know, I've seen suites like a penthouse suite, that go for like a similar price. And I mean, you know, I can let's see. Penthouse suite.
Sweet. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Right. Right. But that's not a Star Cruiser.
I guess, but
It does have windows though.
yeah,
So
I mean, it is a suite though, and like it's got a bed, like an actual bed, you know. A lot of these have a piano. Uh, uh I mean, a balcony. I'm not. Look, I'm all about paying for things that are nice, but if you're gonna pay, then it has to be nice. You know what I mean? That's kind of the
or
trade-off.
it can just be Star Wars. If
Yeah.
it's Star Wars, they can just send you whatever junk they want because they bought it. And that means you have to be their fan now.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to, I hate to say this, but how many Americans could fit in this bathroom?
How many Texans? Probably about one and a half.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Looking dicey, but fine. You know, let's say that you're happy with all of this. Um, you know, and you just want to experience this Starcruiser, right?
Yep. I got the cash in hand.
So this is going to be one of the main. Sorry about that.
Okay.
This is going to be one of the main attractions.
Okay.
You're going to, and I'll keep the music off because I don't.
Thank you.
I don't. Well, I was going to say I don't want anybody shutting down my channel, but I guess there's a
Yeah.
few reasons why, why we'd want to avoid that. So yeah, I mean, for your $6,000 experience, this is your Star Wars now. This is Star Wars, and this is kind of the heart of the issue, really, that we're getting into now.
So what is the appeal? So I have seen this before.
Oh, okay, great.
And this was one of the most striking things to me of how we know that George Lucas didn't come up with this. Right?
Yeah.
Like there's no appeal here.
Yeah, I mean, to say the least. I mean, this just doesn't.
Like when I think Star Wars, I think Princess Leia in a bikini, like and this like do those people look excited to be there? No.
Absolutely not. They don't.
They all look like they're live streaming and probably it's probably their job.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Now that's appeal.
Okay,
That's
so when I think Star Wars, I think Bastila, and people might be like, "Who the hell is Bastila?" And I'm like, "Well,
the real ones
exactly."
know.
No, I'm like, exactly. That's how deep Star Wars goes.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like you can be a fan of Luke or Bastila or, you know, any number of really creative, original, great, deep characters, and I feel like at one point I thought that the universe of Star Wars never ended, but I guess this is where it ends. So, yeah, I know that I kind of, kind of cut you in the middle there, but I just wanted to kind of interject to the, So yeah, here we are now, and you're like, okay, what is this? I don't know. What is this? I mean, how do you interpret this?
This, man, I just thought that you can cut this if you want. This looks like one of those drag queens.
It's mostly for the people watching.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen it, you've seen it, but I just want people to kind of understand, like, if you've seen like A New Hope or something, does this look like that? And I guess the the
No,
the thing is,
but,
they're not trying to make it look like that. They're trying to go with their new thing,
but
which I
what
don't
is
understand.
that too? Like, when I say a drag queen, do you know what that is?
Maybe.
Don't Google it. You
I
might
mean, I
have to
know it's
take this
somebody
out.
that it's like a cross dresser, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's not Star Wars, you know. That's not something that's going to appeal to young men.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really think so.
That's like what I've been dancing around trying to say, but that's like what it's always been. And now that it's lost that, it's kind of adrift.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's yeah, it doesn't appeal to yeah, I mean, Star Wars really is kind of a phenomenon of young men, kind of like comic books. Really.
And he's a good actor. He was not the problem with that,
Yeah,
you
he's
know.
not, but I mean, it's like his character. Like,
Right. His character was like practically nothing. Just I don't know. I mean, screenwriting's hard. It really is, but like you need to be good at it.
yeah, I don't know. I guess
Right.
my question for you is, how do we get from this,
Mm.
to this? What happened? That's my question. Do you have any insight for me? Just in general, not Star Wars particularly, but
Right.
like, how do rehashes like this go so wrong?
Hmm.
You know,
This looks like a parody of Darth Vader. Right.
kind of, yeah.
They weren't able to recapture the original gravitas. They tried to do something similar without admitting it really. It seems, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that design for one worked because of the time too. So trying to copy that again with a new character, you are always going to get that comparison. So it's just not going to be as good.
So is that it? Is it that they're trying to recreate the exact same character but give him a different name?
I think with this particular character, yes, yeah, they're trying to play it safe, and he didn't have enough presence as a villain. We can get to her, um, to be the kind of threat that you need to be as an antagonist. That's supposed to be this dark badass. It just didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, he ended up coming off as like whiny, not really like an imposing. I don't know. I feel like Darth Vader was like, actually, I'm this isn't my original thoughts. Some of this is from analyses that I've watched, but I thought they were
Oh, that's
pretty
okay.
on point, And so it's like Darth Vader at first is kind of like this ultimate evil, but
Mm,
then he transforms into like a human being, You
yeah.
actually see that he is a human being,
Mm-hmm.
and then you realize that, like, the real person that represents that ultimate evil is the emperor, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um and yeah, I just feel like Kylo doesn't have that kind of I don't like I can't really I can't really clearly define who Kylo is in that way. You know.
Right. And I think that part of having that multidimensional villain is at first he has to be that badass. He can't lead with being sensitive, or else the audience won't be won't be able to like go on that journey. And like you said, Kylo seems whiny. Darth Vader got a little bit whiny there towards the end, towards like the very, very end.
Sure. Yeah. You know.
And with good reason. Yeah, they tried to make him sympathetic too quickly, I think. And that you have to give the audience a chance to hate the villain.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I think that we can probably extrapolate to other Disney projects, which is outside of the scope of this video, but it's your character needs to evolve. And so I'll just bring up, Kylo again, since we're still talking about him. A character needs to evolve. I mean, a character needs to, well, all right. A character needs to go from like, this to, this.
Mm-hmm.
Like that has to happen. Even just clicking that link, there was like a little emotion that I felt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel that with Kylo. I mean, maybe annoyance, but I don't think that's what they're going for. And yeah, no, it's true. I mean, he's just a bad guy, but he evolved. You know, and so I guess that could be an aspect of why they failed. But then, how do we get characters like this?
This is the kind of girl power cult that
You said it, not me.
yeah, well that's why I have a pen name, man. That tends to insert things like this and has them backfire. And no one complained about girl power and A New Hope with Leia, and I mean, like, but this just seems so forced.
Yeah, this is ham-fisted.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the word I would put on it.
The whole
Ham-fisted.
thing with and even their role in the narrative. Did you see The Last Jedi?
No.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. The Last Jedi?
The
Yeah.
Last Jedi.
Yeah.
No,
Rise
yeah,
of
okay.
Skywalker? No. By the way,
Right.
before we continue,
Uh-huh.
we're both Star Wars fans. I probably
Well,
should have started with that. I mean, I guess I was one.
yeah.
I don't want to say that anymore, but I
I
used
fall
to.
in the same category.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. You were gonna say?
Um their role in that movie, that whole uh casino scene was just completely useless. And that kind of underscores their little subplot. I mean, I guess I can't really say too much because I didn't see the last movie, but it felt totally tacked on. And they oftentimes you'll see creators tack on characters to sell merchandise or something, or say, oh, we need to do have this character to like fit this certain demographic. That's certainly what I feel like with Rose, but it was, we need a female who's not a Star Wars girl, to put it nicely.
Yeah. That's what we
and
need.
and I have nothing against the actress.
Oh no, absolutely. That's
Um,
exactly where I was going to go with this.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of roles she could do, but this like this this caper that's really for like young men, it doesn't fit. Like you don't have like friend zone characters in these kinds of books. There's shows. Um,
Yeah. I mean, look, here's the thing, man. You know, and I'm glad that you brought up the actress because, you know, one thing that really stunned me, like I when I saw the movie, I'm like, this character's pointless, more or less.
mm,
More or less the conclusion I feel that you've come to. But then when I went back and looked at her, I'm like, wait, hold on. How did Disney go from her to this?
mhm.
Like, what happened here? Because, you know, this is a beautiful woman. I mean, I hope I'm still allowed to say that.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I like? This woman's gorgeous. And then what? Like,
But that's the thing. She was cast to a role. She wasn't supposed to be attractive.
hmm, okay, yeah. I mean, I guess they succeeded at that. It's just it seems weird to me. Seems strange.
I mean, look at that.
It it
Right. Like,
like I feel like it takes effort to do
definite.
to do this.
Yeah, that's not an accident.
So that's
Yeah,
just one thing that came to mind. I'm just like,
yeah.
how does a series, and that's another question, really. Uh, how does this like I feel like what they touch here is like they basically destroy, and I guess I'm going to postulate that that's because I think that they hate this OP.
Hmm.
That's my firm belief, is that not just the director or the screenwriter, executive producer, like everybody involved really doesn't like Star Wars, and I feel like that's how Star Wars got this way. But like, I don't know, is that the deal with like uh man, I'm gonna forget this guy. No, I'm not. There you go. Yep. Is that the same thing that happened here? And like, is that the same thing that happened here? You know?
Yeah. Know what, Chris? I'll disagree with you slightly here. I
Yeah.
don't think they hate the franchise. I think they hate the fan base and want to replace it with their people. And they pretty much have.
Hmm. Now, have they replaced it though? Because I feel like the Star Wars fan base was like a nation of itself, and then now it's like a little tiny, I don't know, island.
I think that's what they prefer.
Huh. Interesting take. Go
I
on.
mean, based off of my interaction with the Cowboy Bebop Cowboy Bebop Netflix promotional people,
Okay.
they were pretty clear that they hated me and they didn't care how much money I'd spent on merchandise over the past, 20 or so years. That was, and there is probably the most recent infamous example of just a terrible attempt at a remake.
Yeah. Yep. You know, I'm glad you brought that up. I wasn't even thinking about Cowboy Bebop.
I was trying to avoid bringing it up, but it had to come up in this conversation.
I think this is the conversation for it. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, this is the big one. Well, I guess Star Wars was the big one, but now this is the big one because I think anime has kind of taken over. Uh,
it's certainly more relevant.
and Netflix is trying to get on board. And I mean, I don't see any problem with that. Why would I? I I want to be excited for something like this, but I'm not anymore, and I didn't even watch a second of this show, and then it got canceled.
Yeah, I think this is like like I said, another example of them trying to replace the fan base. But like you said, it's a small island, and here the island was so small that it wasn't even enough to stay on Netflix.
Goodness, 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 goodness. I mean, you know, I just don't understand, because here we have another deep universe. I mean, look at this character. I just pulled up a random character. This is one of my favorite episodes. I love this episode. I still remember this character. I still remember his origin story, even though it's only like a 23-minute episode, but it stuck with me. And you would think that if you're trying to appeal, to somebody like me who enjoys this series so much, that why are they attacking the fans? You said they want to replace them? They want to replace the Cowboy Bebop fans.
They want to graft their own anime productions on top of anime that currently exists. Because if you follow some of the discourse in the Western quote unquote anime fans, a lot of them can't handle what's in anime. So I think part of these remakes are a sanitization process for the kind of generic Netflix audience, something they can handle, as opposed to a very attractive Fae, which would upset some of their viewers. They can get what they gave us.
Yeah, that's true. Um, they really don't like Faye. Let me see if I can find the GIF. This GIF. There you go. They really don't like this. Oh man, this pisses them off. They can't take this, dude. I mean, I don't know what it is about this that makes people so angry, but they just can't take it.
And it's really funny because right now anime is this meme, right? It's like hot and cool, and your normie of course wants to jump onto the meme, but
Then
they
jump
can't
on.
they can't handle the content though. They just like the meme, so we get this. But thankfully, if this being canceled is actually a great thing. I mean, obviously, but maybe we'll see less of this.
Yeah, but I mean, they're following it up with this.
But that this doesn't even really make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Honestly, like the Mega Man fan base at this point is tiny. The Mega Man anime fan base, never. I mean, it's not relevant,
I mean, at least they're at least it's an animated show. Like, at least it's not like I don't
live
know.
action, yeah.
But
like like that one down there at the bottom. They could have done that.
Oh, this?
The blue one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were going to do. That's the joke. Fantastic. Yeah.
I mean, hey,
see, Netflix, we do not have high expectations, guys.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does. I mean, to be fair, I'm not a Netflix client. Never really have been. You know, I've used other people's Netflix accounts before, had some good moments on there. But then I realized that they were censoring anime. And I'm like, okay, well, forget about this. I don't know. I mean, honestly, for me, this episode is just about uncovering this mystery. I
Mhm.
mean, if they're trying to replace, I guess, me with somebody else that's going to watch this, then it looks like they failed
Yeah.
because nobody watched it and now it's been canceled. Um, you know, and it looks like the same things happened here, but they're pushing forward. Um, yeah.
They they simply have more money to burn.
I, I I don't know. It like I don't think Disney does, to be honest with you. I mean, they've been budget cutting their parks. You know, they're investors. I mean, Disney's been one of the worst performing stocks this, in the last year. I don't know, man. I almost feel like this is some kind of like obsession. It's like a
Mhm.
compulsion.
Right.
It's like
That's why I call it a cult.
yeah, it's like Moby Dick, like
Right.
Ahab. Like they're going to destroy themselves for this ideal that is not even real.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
But is that really what's going to happen though?
Well, they're going to continue to fade from relevancy, and eventually, if they keep, you can't just keep losing money forever.
Here's another one. Probably missed this. Here's
Right. You told me about this. I mean, this is a remake of a completely irrelevant property. Like, and I'm familiar with West Side Story and Bernstein and all of the other times Shakespeare has been redone, but no one knows what this is. Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. Like, what does that mean to anyone under the age of like 60? Honestly.
yeah, but I think this was another Disney. She looks like Ariana Grande a little bit, but
So,
you know, this is another one of these things where I believe that this was Disney again,
mhm.
and they thought this was going to be a hit. I mean, they were
that
talking to their investors, and they're like, "Hey, we got Spielberg, we got West Side Story. That's it." And it's not word for word, but that's almost what they said.
that just shows how out of touch they are, and I'm sure that in a conference call full of people in their 60s, they're probably like, finally, what took you guys so long?
Yeah, but I mean, hey, they better be bilingual because there's no English subtitles, even for the Spanish spoken
Mm,
parts of this film.
wow, that's
Yeah, they talk about it right here. Look, unsubtitled.
it's not enough.
Oh, I
What
missed
will
that.
be enough?
I missed that.
I'd like to get them on the record in terms of what would actually be enough for slate.com.
I didn't even see this part. That's funny.
It's not
Yeah.
enough.
No, yeah, apparently it's not. I'm not going to read this article. But wow. Yeah, you're right. That's pretty funny. My point was that they've
Well,
gone too
I'm
far.
I'm glad Steven Spielberg has finally addressed the shortcomings. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm not going to say anything bad about uh, Mr. Spielberg, but
I'm glad they're happy. I'm glad that this was
well,
effective marketing for him, moving the English subtitles so that the American audience won't be able to understand what the heck is going on.
what
Rehashing.
audience?
Oh my God. I don't know, man. I mean, I feel clueless because I just feel like I've checked out.
Well, you're not as like you may be clueless, but you're not as clueless as the producers at Disney.
Yeah. I mean, I've just checked out. I feel like that's the end point of this is that you take these series you do whatever it is that they're doing to them. You destroy it, and then people just check out.
That picture, oh my god. I can't.
Yeah, I know, right? Hold on, let me like cleanse the palate here a little bit. This is just really offensive. Um. Oh no. Oh, you know what? Let me show you one thing. Let me. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna cleanse the palate. All right, prepare yourself. Have you seen Vicious? Oh, well, there you go. Now you've seen him. That's vicious. That's vicious. Apparently, him. These are the same guy.
So I think Cowboy Bebop was, I think it started at least partially as incompetence.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at this picture. I can't believe what? I'm sorry. I didn't hear anything you just said, dude.
Well, I was speculating that this is more a case of incompetence than malice here, because part of the Cowboy Bebop thing. Oh wait, could okay. Scroll to that picture all the way on the left there. So this is, yes, this is the live action. So in this picture, first off, the background is the focal point. It, like, you notice how like there's so much stuff going on in the back. I'm actually going to try to find the original shot, because that's a shot for shot from the original Cowboy Bebop.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be really illustrative. And I'll just try to drop that in the
Oh wait, hold on. They did it.
oh, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the one on the right looks like it's by someone who doesn't even understand how to make an image, because there's so much going on. Like first off, you can hardly see the sword being stabbed into his, his fucking chest on the one on the right, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, the person who made the one on the right, I bet they saw stained glass for like the first time, and we're like, yo, like, we gotta, this window, like, that's a big thing. No, it's not. It's supposed to be the character moment.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, look, in the original show, I mean, they show the window, but not at this moment, though.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's really what it is. It's just incompetence. I think that out of all of the reasons that we've come to, maybe that's the one that I can.
That's the most provable, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, because it's like, look, there's definitely incompetence. Actually, It's not even an opinion; it's just a fact.
Right.
If you can take Star Wars, if you can take Cowboy Bebop, if you can take any of these properties and completely destroy them, then yeah, I'd say that's incompetent. And I guess that's just the bottom line. I mean, why? I guess maybe for some people it's because their personal views and beliefs get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Although, to be honest, I think at this point, I think we're getting to a point where it's not that people's views and beliefs are getting in the way. It's that they are only where they are because of their views and beliefs. And they never had any vision or talent to begin with.
That's a very important clarification there. So what we're seeing is the end result of a process that started long before the film. I mean, this was inevitable.
Yep. I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, that's my argument, is that this
Exactly.
is the problem. And
Yeah.
there's people that would argue with me on that. Heck, there's probably people on my channel that'll argue with me on that.
I'd love to see, like, if they have any data that would make us think that this writing team has improved the material, which is basically what they claim.
And by the way, I don't like, my issue here really is strictly with the talent. I mean, that's my only concern. I wouldn't even be looking at who these people are if there wasn't originally an issue with this.
Right, because you have to look at a disaster, a train wreck, and ask what happened. Right. So we had an unqualified engineer driving the train. Why? Oh, because there's some policy. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Like, I think the fans are working backwards like
Mm-hmm.
that. But the claim is that we're starting here and we're saying, well, this offends me. This doesn't offend me at all. If they
No.
would, if they would have, you know, produced, uh, you know, something that leaves an opinion on me, like this piece of content did.
I mean, you were just talking about Bastila.
Yep.
It's that's not an issue. And like, look at Cowboy Bebop. They nerfed Faye. Like, I mean, who's the one with the problem here?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's true. I think it's kind of come to the point where it's like, yeah, like who is the one with the problem? Is it me for wanting more of this, or is it them for wanting more of this? I don't know. You know, I don't know, but
It's strange, and it's not just about female.
no,
Anytime that you put an ideology ahead of art, the art's going to suffer. It just becomes propaganda, and that's not interesting to anyone who isn't already interested in it.
yeah, I mean, no, it has nothing to do with female or anything. As a matter of fact, um, you know, like, hold on. Ah, crap. Wow, this is in Russian? What did I do? Okay.
Uh-oh, man.
Uh,
I didn't know it was this kind of podcast.
you know, yeah, I mean, like this guy's not a,
Right. It's
like
weird as
this
hell.
pisses me off too. This pisses me off too. I'm black, by the way, guys. Don't know if you knew that, but this pisses me off too.
This pisses me off because a bunch of people think like, oh, it's black people who are wanting representation, and Lord, no one's ever asked for that.
Ever.
Like it's the last thing anyone wants. Like, it's a fantasy, like,
Nobody
it's
has
just bizarre.
ever asked for that. This is what I forget it.
I
Because
mean,
you're talking to a void.
yeah, and like, I reread the whole trilogy maybe once every 2 or 3 years. Like it certainly, no one making stuff today is going to improve on it. Yeah. Um, yeah. So sorry to everyone who is upset about this. I mean, now that I shouldn't be apologizing, but I think someone needs to.
Yeah. So when does this end? I guess the last point to get to. Like how do we stop this? Because I'm sick of it, and it seems to me that America's sick of it.
But that doesn't seem to matter. Not watching it doesn't seem to do anything. They can't even put films in theaters unless they're from Japan now. that seems totally fine. They're ready to die for their faith, you know, economically.
True, yep, that's true. They're willing to die for it, and they're gonna take down some really beloved intellectual properties with it. I don't know why I do this to myself.
I'll say that the death of DC and Marvel in the long run will probably be the best thing to ever happen to American comics. No. I take that back. I had a whole speech planned. I take that back, actually.
Yeah. This is where we are, man. This wasn't this year. This is where we were in like 2020. So I guess we're past this now. I don't know. Look, I hope that nobody takes this the wrong way, man. Do whatever you want, okay? I don't care. But this isn't Superman. That's my issue here.
It looks like some like Korean boys love comic.
Yep. And they've been getting downsized, and now they're just about gone.
But it's funny because those actually sell.
What, this?
I mean, Korean boys love. They make money, but that's not what DC has ever done.
No,
it's just I don't know. I don't know. You say you're doing it to yourself. You're also doing it to me and your audience.
I know.
Although this era back row is obviously totally great.
So. Exactly. Yeah, that's why I want to just end on a good note.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You know what I mean? I want to end on something positive. Back in a time when we could agree that things were.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a great design, man. That's great, and it's like that's an American design too. Those proportions are very distinctly American, but not the new. Not so much anymore. But yeah,
could Bruce Timm draw this today? I mean, it seems like a silly question, but I kind of wonder.
I mean, I don't know too much about the individual comic artists. I know some of them have kind of fallen off the deep end, and I've even heard some of them like disavowing work that they've done and stuff. I mean, it's just a total mess.
Yeah, I don't think he has. I have not heard anything like that from Bruce Timm. I mean, hey, look, if somebody later comes and says that he did, then whatever. But no, I think Bruce Timm's, he hasn't gone to the whatever side it is that they're on now, Yeah, I don't think he's gone over to that side yet. So I don't know. I mean, I think the audience is there. I mean, on a positive note, I think that the audience is there. I mean, I know I'm here, you're here, so clearly there are people there.
Right. And as I was going to say, the death of Marvel and DC has kind of forced some of these creators to go independent, which is not something that's easy to do as a comic book artist. But I think that we'll see a lot of new, a lot of new intellectual property.
Yeah, that is a positive. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the guys that made this are not the ones that are making the new, Superman that I just showed you.
Right.
Like these guys are gone and they are doing other projects elsewhere that are better, whether it's indie or whatever. Like that's what happened to these guys, just like BioWare. Like, it's not like they just all of a sudden became hacks. No, they
Right.
left.
No. Yeah,
You know,
for
the
sure.
company got shelled out and replaced with a bunch of people that really just, I guess, don't know what they're doing. I guess that's my conclusion.
Hmm.
Seems fair.
But then it also begs a question of how do people who don't know what they're doing get into these positions of power?
Um, the you know that's another one. I just really don't know. I mean, I think the investors have a lot to say. Um,
Do they?
so it depends. Like, some of the big some of the big ones that have a lot of money to throw around, if once they own like 30, 40, 50% of the company, they will force things, you know. Um, Not saying that this was happening in every case, but that is what happens sometimes. Like BlackRock or Vanguard will just come in and be like,
Oh, right.
you know, we own this thing now, so it needs to be, you know,
That's right.
no more Bruce Tim. We have to bring in Anita Sarkeesian.
I would, because it's so funny. When you said investor, I'm still clearly thinking in the old world in terms of like an actual individual who is trying to turn a profit. And
Yeah,
then and then you brought up BlackRock. I'm like, oh, of course,
yeah,
right. The investors that don't who are fine with destroying their investment.
yeah. It's just like a faceless bank. The Federal
Yeah,
Reserve, basically.
right,
Yeah. So,
right,
you know,
right. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were largely responsible for all this because again, how else does this happen? Like companies decide, hey, we don't want to make money anymore.
well, I guess another thing. It's funny. I keep saying this is gonna be the last thing, but maybe this will be the last thing. Another
Maybe.
thing is that a lot of times it's like I was saying, people leave, but yeah, sometimes they leave because they sold it, like YouTube. I mean, they just sold YouTube.
Hmm.
So it's
Right.
like, if you think about it from the creators' perspective, or the founding, people's perspective, it's like it was had a fun run, made a few $1 billion. Time to just enjoy my life. Like they
For
probably couldn't
sure.
care less about like who cares? I guess at a certain point, like you've made enough Batgirl comics, maybe you're just ready to move on to the next thing.
Right, right. And this is kind of, kind of close to that was a situation with J.K. Rowling and why they're now able to kind of write her out of her own series because she she took a few Billy to say I don't own any of the copyright anymore, which is somewhat rare for an author. Like it has to be like a really big check. Um, yeah, and I'm not like a huge Harry Potter fan, but that's another major franchise where the the you can kind of tell how things change once it's no longer family owned. Let's put it that way.
True. Though, I will say, like, I'm kind of glad that I think that this episode's ending on kind of a more positive note, because I think Harry Potter is a positive example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was
Yeah.
really well received. People still like it, even though Harry Potter's not really that relevant. I mean, it is, but it's also not. I mean, this isn't like the 90s, or 2000, early 2000s. Sorry, I don't remember exactly when it came out. Don't bombard me in the comments. But anyway, yeah, yeah, I think you can do these things properly if you just respect. Because I feel when I look at this, it's like I feel like really what their main concern was capturing like the magic of the series.
Right. And they wanted to. you know, like that's certainly a change in perspective from the writing we saw in The Last Jedi, where they're trying to refute the series, and the result with Harry Potter was successful. Um, you know, be because they embraced uh, the spirit. I think. Yeah, I mean, this is the Last Jedi. What offended me most was just how they wrote Luke, is just kind of as a refute of the optimistic character that he once was.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird agenda to have when you're trying to create entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's like on one side, you look up Wizarding World of Harry Potter and you see Harry Potter as you've always known him,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And on the other, I'm like, who is this?
Is that Yoda? Like,
Yeah. Okay. I mean, hey, look, people are going to make their choices. People are going to look,
right.
Universal is going to make their choice.
Mm,
Disney's going to make their choice. The customers are going to make their choice. And I guess the market will decide.
yeah.
That's the bottom line of it. So, I mean, yeah. Would you say we've pretty much covered this one?
I think so. I think I have offended enough people for one podcast. So
Yeah. I mean, I hope that you know nobody takes anything the wrong way. I mean, I'm gonna post this unedited because I don't think that I've said anything wrong. I don't think you've said anything wrong. If anybody thinks that something offensive was said here, please let me know. I would love to talk to you about it and see what. Yeah, I take concerns seriously. I really do. But I think I can more or less stand by what I've said here today, that I value quality over anything else, including agenda. And I guess that'll put me at odds with some people, and I'm okay with that.
yeah, I'd say that I'd say the people that are at odds with that statement, I'm fine with being at odds with them. So
All right. All right. Well, hey, thank you very much for coming on. And, I can't wait for the next time.
same here.
All
Peace.
right. See ya.